This is a pretty simple rig, so it'll be easy to map and easy for a tutorial. I'm going to first load a map because it looks an awful lot like a BVH, and see if I get an error. None of the bones in the map matched. Okay, so it's not a BVH. So I'll make sure there's no map on the rig. It's not a typical BVH, it just happens to be a BVH file, but not in the, there's no real format, but there used to be a commonly used bone naming convention, but not anymore, I guess. Anyway, so we'll start clean. This here is the groin, you're not going to use that. So in pelvis is probably the hip bone, and that says hips. It looks like it says hips. And in a BVH file it would be called hip instead. So map these. I'm going to go down all the way up the spine, just in order, because it looks like it might actually work. Let's see what this is. Is this the neck? That's the chest. It's another chest bone. It's named kind of weird. In that particular position, it would be this chest. So I'm gonna unmap this one. Well, which one? Which one should I unmap? You can choose one of these two bones. I'm gonna choose this one to unmap. There's too many bones, so I'm gonna unmap that one. I'm gonna skip that and map this. Map this one to the chest, because then the next one is the neck on here, and that says neck, so, and that's the M neck, so let's do that one. And we have the head, which is next. So map these, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 bones. It's a 4-bone chain. So I'm going to go to the very end. 1, 2, 3. There's 4 in that chain there. I'm going to show you a little trick here. I will set the chain length to 4 to make my job easier. Select the very end bone there. Select the very end bone there, and fill it. And we have the same thing on the other side. We just click them. You don't shift select them both. Bento Buddy knows which was selected on each separate rig. Then we get the legs. So we do have count down from the top. 2, 3, 4. Do the same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that means we have the end bones already, and we do have a fill of 4. So get that done. Same thing here. Select the end bones. 2, 3, 4. And you're all mapped. So I'm going to save this as, what did we call it? Plesk? I think that's the name. I'll save it as a temp file for now, and I'll rename it once I find the actual name. So I'll save this map as a temp. I've got one in here somewhere already. That's how I save these until I'm certain that they work. So I can reset the maps here. Now I noticed that you might have the proxy rig hidden. That's not a good idea. Just reset the stage when you're done, because when you go back in, you say action, it's all mapped for you. You don't lose it. It stays with the rig as long as you save the file, which I'm going to do right now. Reset the stage. I'll save the file in this state, and we'll see. We have some funky guy sitting down. Looks like he's in a wheelchair. Okay, wheelchair man. So the legs and arms are a little off, and the first frame usually needs to be on the reference, which should look a lot like the Second Life rig. So you would create a rig and try and match it up as far as bone orientation goes. You see the arms, but we're not going to do that yet. I'm going to see if this just works the way it is, but first I want to see if there's a rest pose that is not in the pose right now, and it is. This is wrong. So we're going to need to put it in its rest pose. Or is it already? Yeah, it's already in the rest pose. I think we can deal with that. This is the rest pose right here. If it doesn't work, we'll bring the legs in a little further. We'll adjust these arms for the reference frame here. And I'm going to select all the bones to get the keys. And we're going to be exporting just up to frame 90. That's fine. Alright. Let me save this again. Go over to the animation exporter. I'm going to change this to a file name that I know will work. I'm not certain that will work. I'm going to go over to the character tools, retarget motion. Let me give it a little distance so I can see it follow. This doesn't affect the outcome, it just affects the visuals so you can see better. And I will hit action and have it look at it. Now the proxy rig should follow along with the source. And that's how it's going to look like in Second Life. If you don't like the way it looks, adjust the reference frame. But it looks fine. I think it looks fine. And we export directly from this. It didn't fill in our loop end frame, did it? Yeah, it did. It filled it in with the entire animation, but we want it just to be 90 frames. We'll do that for now. So we'll adjust this here. Base priority 4 is fine. And don't split this. I mean, it is a long one, and you can split it if you want to later on after you figure out how things are working. But it looks like the rest of the animation is dead. It doesn't have anything else. So I'm just going to shorten it and export this. And we'll go check it in Second Life. Oh, don't forget to reset your tools when you're done. There we go. Alright, let's bring this in. And play it. It looks fine. You can make your tweaks if you want. Okay, we can stop that glitch. I'll show how that's done. We just export the loop. Actions again. Animation. Export the loop from frame 2, which I believe is where it's sitting. So just export that again. Wherever it will loop smoothly. Have another look. I don't know if this loops smoothly, but at least that jumpy glitch will be gone. Just an example of how to do this. Yeah. Why it stopped though? Oh, because I retarded. It's playing the rest of the animation. Let me show you what happened there. Whenever you hit action in the retargeter, it will send the animation, send to animation, and you'll notice that the frames have changed. Now I'm going to set this back, right? And I'm going to do the retarget again to show you how to fix that. I'm going to reset the stage, and I'm going to turn this off, and then say action. And now back in the animation, it doesn't adjust my frames. Let's re-export this one last time. And we did have, yeah, the loop is at frame 2. That's good. And that should be it. This should work well. There's a little pop glitch there, but you're going to have to smooth that out yourself. Maybe I'll just show how that's done. Alright, let's do that. I'm going to copy the active, hit A here. I'm going to copy the active start frame, which is not 1. 1 is the reference frame. So zoom in here. And this is the active start frame. I'm going to move this there's going to be a transition into that frame, so I need to give it some space to transition. Make sure that my animation transition is alright. I can't see what I'm doing. I think this actually does not go to frame 90. There's nothing going on in frame 90. I think 85 is where it... Oops, moved that by accident. Bring this down. I think about 85 is where it stops, so I'm just going to delete some of these keys to make some room for... These are all dead keys. There's some other activity going on over here, but I need to show you how to do this. I'm going to give it some smoothing room over here. I'd like to give it at least half a second, so 85 to 95 is not a bad idea. So I'm going to move that. I'm going to duplicate a key and move it to 95. The second key. So Shift D, move it over here a little bit, then go find my 95 and move that over to 95. And I'm going to set this to 95. So there should be some sort of transition into that, which moves into that. And sometimes, often actually, you want to move this one frame beyond the actual animation so that you don't duplicate the key and you get a pause. Let's see what happens here. And we're going to start at frame 2. We'll have that same glitch. So there's still a little bump there, but that's part of animating. It's fine. It looks fine. Alright, we're going to export this and see how that works out. Retarget this. Action to and animation export. Oh, we did it again. We want to go to 95, is it? Yeah, frame 95 and frame 95. And we want to loop from the second frame. Export this and go check it out. That looks alright.